Okay, so when it comes to our project, we got a lot of extras and we need to modify the model kit. And we did the saucer section, so we made the modifications to this. This is in the prior video. If you want, you can check out that. I actually made a playlist for this build, and eventually when we do the parts preparation for the primer and the paint, we'll glue the parts in. But we're going to put this aside, and today we're going to focus on the nacelles. Now I do have the inserts. We've got the kind of purplish color for the chiller grills, the inner chiller grills, and we have the outer ones. And those are going to go, let me show you guys the inner part. The model kit itself, when they say smoothie, they're right, because everything is smooth right down to the nacelles. And this will make it really nice to put the decals on, but we're going to have to remove all of the inner parts for the chiller grills so we can light it. Let me show you an outer one, and we're going to have to remove that. So this one is still on its parts tree, so why don't we get this off? Okay, so when it comes to the instructions for this, they actually were printed on the inside of the cardboard sleeve. And you can see this is the from the motion picture, Constitution Refit Smoothie Warp Grills Details. So the first thing we're going to do, step one, is identify what side of the warp nacelles and upgrade parts belong to. So that's those of us that know the Enterprise. We're going to be doing the inner chiller grills first, and the outer ones, dead giveaway, is the fin that goes on the outside. Also, you can see the area where we're going to attach the nacelle pylon to. So these are going to be the ones that are going to have the maroon or purple chiller grills. Okay. Make sure they belong before moving to step two. Okay, so we're going to move on to step two. Using the .030 diameter bit mounted in the Dremel tool, drill a series of holes along the inside of the outline. And that's the same directions that we used for the B&C decks. So I'm thinking, because we use the outline on the primary hull, it doesn't necessarily say to use an outline on this, but I'm wondering if we should go ahead and try to make an outline just for something to follow. So let's see, would that be the one on top? Incidentally, I did a whole unboxing on this if you want to check that out. If there's anything about this model kit you're interested in, I have questions on, I did a full playlist on this build. Okay, so this is the one we're going to start with. This is going to go right here, like that. We're gonna put this piece in, but right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an outline along this part, just so I have something to follow. Now the reason I did that is I'm going to go and I'm actually going to drill on the inner part of the mark. That way there I'm definitely going to know that I'm not going to get too close. That's going to make an area where there's a gap, because I'd rather have to remove more material than actually have to fill in, because that'll look better on the model if there's no gaps. So I'm going to start drilling. Okay, so we got all the holes drilled out, and now what I'm going to start doing is we're going to start to snip out the middle piece. There we are. So now it becomes a long task. Let's see if we can actually try to snip some of these pieces out. Alright. So now let's start to grind away. We got a long ways to go.
This thing that keeps it lit up.
Looks like a little bit more just over there in the top. So you can see we got it in. And when we glue it, we'll do a little bit of, maybe just a bit of some minor adjustments. For the most part though, this is what it's going to look like. Alright. Alright, so that was the inner chiller grill. We'll go ahead and we'll move to the outer one now. But these aside because these like bend and they're soft because it's resin, so it's not a good idea to keep working those. Like I said, we'll clean this up when we're ready to glue the piece in. Okay, now let's move on to the outer part, and that would be this section. There we are. Now we can start to grind it down. Let's just get rid of some of these pieces first. Alright, so we're really close now. There's just a piece in the back over here. So let's see if I can use the blade on here. There we are. Again, we're going to have to put a little bit of filler along the side, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can see that it looks pretty good. All right. And that was the starboard nacelle. Now we're ready to move on to the port nacelle. So we're going to do the inner chiller grill first. looks like we just got the back. That little end where the tip is. So let's go ahead and do that. We got to change the tips. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Again, we're going to do some fine adjustments, but for the most part, this is how it's going to go in. And we'll do the fine adjustments when we go ahead and we glue it into place. Okay, so the second chiller grill is all set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the outer part of the port side chiller grill. And this is the last one we got to take out. Again, a little bit of filling in, but this one's in. A few adjustments when we do the gluing. We'll glue them in when we do the painting and the priming. Okay, so we did the nacelles. You can see we got all the grills in. It took a little bit of patience. Let me show you guys what they're going to look like when it's together. So we're going to have these sections. It's going to have the chiller grill on the inside. It's going to be lit, and it's going to have the one with the detail on the outer side. See how they're going to look. Again, there are some areas we're going to fill in, but for the most part they're nice and tight, right up against the coil behind the Bussard collector. So my friends, thank you for joining me on this, and unfortunately this is part of the build that just has to be done. So we had to modify the primary hull, and we did that. That was the prior video. In this video we modified the nacelles. So now we're ready to move on. So the next video, my friends, We're going to be actually gluing all the extra parts into place. We're going to be priming and we're going to be painting. Till the video comes up, my friends, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.